Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been remanded to 6 days in Enforcement Directorate custody in connection with the alleged liquor gate scam. The ED, in fact, in its submission, in its remand application today before the court, called Mr. Kejriwal as the kingpin of this scam. Aam Aadmi Party protesters were out on the streets of Delhi. The AAP ministers, the likes of Atishi, Saurabh Bharadwaj, etc., were taken into custody. Even the leaders of the India Alliance, from Rahul Gandhi to Mamata Banerjee, have all been standing behind Kejriwal. But the moot point is this. Is Kejriwal and what has happened to him over the last 24 hours, as indeed over the last 18 months or so, since this Liquorgate scam came to light, is it being viewed in the eyes of the public as yet another corrupt leader who's been felled by Mr. Modi's anti-corruption movement? Or is this being seen as pure political vendetta? We'll get to all of that and more through the course of this big debate in a special edition of Brass Tacks, in which, perhaps for the first time in many, many years, perhaps for the first time in Indian political history, a sitting chief minister has been arrested on allegations of corruption and is now in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate.
राष्ट्रीय पार्टी है, राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष गिरफ्तार कर लिया है। ये लोकतंत्र को कहता है।
पूरी तानाशाही है, सिर्फ और सिर्फ लोकसभा चुनाव जीतने के लिए ये तानाशाही की जा रही है।
इनको भी जेल में जाना पड़ा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट से लेके अन्य कोर्ट ने उनको राहत नहीं दी। क्या अरविंद केजरीवाल कानून से ऊपर है?
ये कौन सी जादुई पुड़िया खाई है सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी ने कि हर अच्छाई वहाँ है, हर बुराई यहाँ है।
उन्हें किसी चीज के लिए गुनहगार पाया नहीं गया है। जेल में बंद रखना ये भी उनके साथ एक सोची समझी साजिश है।
All right, so let's decode the storm of charges and counter-charges that happened in court today. This is a blow-by-blow account of the ED's case against the Chief Minister and the legal case presented by his lawyers in court today. So the ED said that the Delhi Chief Minister, and this was the big motion that they had in court today, where they said that the Delhi Chief Minister is the kingpin of this entire scam, that he was the one who sought kickbacks from various private liquor barons. The response to that from Kejriwal's legal team was that this is the first time in India's history that a sitting chief minister has been arrested. The ED's case was that the Delhi chief minister was directly involved in the formation of the excise policy. Remember, Mr. Kejriwal was chief minister without any portfolios. But the ED's contention was that he was the one who was directly responsible for the formation of the excise policy. To which Mr. Kejriwal's legal team responded by saying that the ED has not established why they needed to arrest Mr. Kejriwal in the first place. The ED's contention in court today was that Vijay Nair, who was a very close aide of Mr. Kejriwal, who used to be in charge of the public affairs of the Aam Aadmi Party, communications, etc., he, the ED alleges, was acting as the middleman between Kejriwal and what the ED calls the South Group, led of course by K. Kavita of the BRS. The legal team of Mr. Kejriwal responded by saying that a majority of the accused have not mentioned any direct dealings with Mr. Kejriwal on a one-on-one basis. Also, the ED went on to say that there is a YSRCP member of parliament by name Magunta Reddy. Magunta Reddy had said that the chief minister wanted 100 crores to fight the elections. Kejriwal's team has responded by saying that the weight of statements can only be considered during the course of the trial, at the stage of the trial, not right now. The ED's contention was that Vijay Nair, who was a close aide of Mr. Kejriwal, received 100 crore kickbacks from the South Group on behalf of Mr. Kejriwal. Mr. Kejriwal's team responded by saying that tracing the money trail is no ground for arrest of a sitting chief minister. The ED went on to say that a Hawala trail of 45 crores has been traced from the South Group to the Aam Aadmi Party and which was put to use in the Goa elections that happened in 2022. The legal team responded by saying that there is no need to arrest over what are the contours of an alleged crime. That crime, of course, has to be proven in the court of law, basis evidentiary value. Right now, it's a mere allegation. The ED also went on to say that MS Reddy said that he was asked to arrange 10 crore payment to K. Kavita. Remember, K. Kavita was arrested last week in this case. She's also been remanded to ED custody. The legal team of Mr. Kejriwal responded to that by saying there is no direct evidence against the Delhi Chief Minister. The ED also went on to contend that apart from personal role, Mr. Kejriwal's role via the Aam Aadmi Party, because remember this money went into the party coffers and the allegation is that the party used this money for fighting elections in Punjab, Goa, etc. The legal team of Mr. Kejriwal has said that the ED misled the court for the summons. The reason is illegal. The arrest is illegal. So this were the arguments back and forth between the two sides, between the Enforcement Directorate lawyers and the lawyers representing Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. The point is this, of course, the legal fight will continue, and the legal fight is what will establish whether these charges have any basis, whether these charges have any evidence that back them. But that is not what is important right now. What is important right now is it is coming just a few weeks before the Lok Sabha elections. The contention of the India alliance is this entire thing has been done with elections in mind and for purely political purposes. The contention of the BJP is you cannot fault the Enforcement Directorate for the timing here because it was Mr. Kejriwal who skipped 9 summons. Had he shown up for any of those summons, then the timing would have been inconsequential. But let me go across to our guests who are joining us. Sanju Verma is National Spokesperson of the BJP. Abhinandita Mathur is Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Dr. Shama Mohammed is National Spokesperson of the Congress Party. Deshratan Nigam is an advocate. Let me first go across to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, the contention by the legal team of Mr. Kejriwal is that the first time in India's history a sitting chief minister has been arrested. The only reference to Mr. Kejriwal is 2 times in the charge sheet. One, an alleged video FaceTime call between him and Sameer Mahindru, and the other, an alleged meeting between the son of a YSRCP MP and Mr. Kejriwal. If the ED had a watertight case against Mr. Kejriwal, why are they not naming him as an accused in the charge sheets that they have filed so far in this case?
You know, Zaka, taking your logic ahead, my simple question is, show me one sitting chief minister who called himself a Kattar Imandar, who said that he's come in to transform political discourse and the manner in which politics is conducted in India. And today, he epitomizes all that is wrong with a political party. He's the symbol. His party stands for incompetence, corruption, dishonesty, quid pro quo, and so much more. I, in fact, will go so far as saying that if you read section 17, 18, and 19 of the PMLA Act, which talks about the sweeping powers of the ED with respect to search and seizure, and you read that in conjunction with section 24 of the PMLA, which talks about the reverse burden of proof. What do these two things say? In the case of section 24, reverse burden of proof, the accused has to prove that he or she is innocent and not guilty. It is not the job of the probe agencies to do so. Despite that, despite the fact that Kejriwal was mollycoddled, he rejected 9 summons. As per the PMLA Act, if after 3 summons you still don't comply and come for interrogation, the Enforcement Directorate, while section 45 of the PMLA is bound to, has the prerogative to suo moto arrest you. Did the ED do that? No. It waited for the Rouse Avenue Court, the Patiala House Court, the Delhi High Court, the Supreme Court, bar. October 2023 was the first time summons were given to him. He was asked to appear on the 2nd of November 2023. Today we are in 2024. More than a year has passed since the first summon was given to him. I will say the ED actually has not been draconian If anything, the ED gave him a long rope. यदि
Okay.
आपको किसी चीज का डर नहीं है, why did you not comply with the summons? Because I will tell you one more thing very quickly. They say in any criminal offense, you have Deshratna Nigam. He will, talk in detail about the legal aspect of it. But purely for the benefit of your viewers, I will say this much: this even a legal person does not need to. A layman should also know this. In any criminal offense, there are three things which are important: malafide intent, proceeds of crime, and money trail. In October 2023, a two-judge bench led by Justice Sanjeev Khanna and SVN Bhatti said tentatively, quote unquote, a money trail of 338 crores has been established. The Enforcement Directorate press release of 17th March 2024 says proceeds of crime of 128.79 crore have been established, and there is a quid pro quo of 100 crores, wherein K. Kavita gave 100 crores to Aam Aadmi Party.
No,
and
ma'am.
Vijay Nair.
One second. With due respect, that's a press release of the Enforcement Directorate. Surely that is not gospel truth. Okay? So let's be very, very clear about these things. This matter has to be gone into by the court, and it is still the onus of the Enforcement Directorate to provide material evidence to prove a money trail. So if they are saying that Mr. Kejriwal is an accused, then they are well within their right to do so. They have produced, one second. They have produced certain material, but the court has to peruse that material, and the court has to be convinced that that material is evidence enough to convict the Delhi Chief Minister. But be that as it may, that is a matter for a later date. Let me ask Abhinandita Mathur. The contention of the Enforcement Directorate is this: number one, that there was a video call between the Chief Minister and Sameer Mahindra, who's an accused in this case, who's a direct beneficiary of the change of liquor policy. Another accused, Mr. Dinesh Arora, has said under 164 CRPC that he met Kejriwal and discussed funding. The ED in its charge sheet also claims that Vijay Nair, who was a very close aide of Mr. Kejriwal, the communications head of the Aam Aadmi Party, was acting at the behest of Mr. Kejriwal. The remand note of one of the accused, Mr. Amit Arora, a remand note from the court of law, not an ED document, not an ED press release. A remand note from the court of law has said that one of the accused, Amit Arora, has mentioned that he met Kejriwal vis-a-vis this liquor policy. Also, it says that Mr. Sisodia's former PS claimed that the excise policy report, the changed policy report, was given at the Chief Minister's residence, and that one of the YSRCP MPs, Manguta Reddy, and his son were welcomed into the liquor business by the Chief Minister of Delhi. This is the Enforcement Directorate's case against Mr. Kejriwal. The ED believes this is a watertight case, that they have not just one or two, but multiple accused persons who have said that Mr. Kejriwal was directly in the know of this change of liquor policy. And are you suggesting to the viewers who are watching today, Abhinandita Mathur, that such a big development happened, from 5% to 12% commission happened, that got scrapped in a year, and the Chief Minister was unaware about it?
Thanks, Saka. But even before that, what I would actually like to first convey to the viewers is our gratitude, because I think the kind of supportive messages that we are getting, especially from people in Delhi, it's very encouraging for us. I don't think that, we need a Sanju Verma to really shout and, tell the people what the truth is, because if you shout in that way, I don't think anybody is really going to listen.
Your leader is cooling his heels in lockup. Your leader is cooling his heels in lockup.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
No, not this way. Not this way. One at a time. My question was to Ms. Mathur. Only Ms. Mathur will respond, please. Everybody else,
Thanks.
Out of the frame.
Okay.
Thank you.
So all that is happening now, one part of it is the legal procedures. The other is the political context in which all this is playing out. And I think both these things go hand in hand, are relevant, because as we know, the political will, the political mandate influences everything, because essentially the ministers are lawmakers. PMLA was amended. It was amended in a way that the onus of proving yourself innocent had to then be on the accused. Anyway, without going into the details of that, I think the simple fact is, and the BJP right now stands completely exposed. ये मन गढ़न कुछ बनाया इन्होंने liquor policy का scam. Okay, then they go after it. 2 saal ho gaye. They take Manish Sisodia, they take Vijay Nair, they take Sanjay Singh ji, they take a lot of other people. Nothing has been found.
No, but Ms. Mathur, one second. Why you should explain to the viewers of Delhi why any of these Diggaj Jan, whether it is Mr. Sisodia, Mr. Nair, or any of the accused, are not getting bail from the Supreme Court. It's been 2 years.
Yes,
why are they not getting bail?
Sure, I'll explain it. The reason why they're not getting bail is that in the current PMLA law, lower courts do not grant bail very easily. Number one. The second point is that the Supreme Court has also observed that that there is no need to delay bail, that there is no need to keep people imprisoned, and they have also observed that such thing is happening. Now,
but the Supreme Court itself has rejected bail, not just the lower courts. It's gone all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has rejected bail.
Exactly. Well, that is because, by this time, the ED is fabricating many other charges, as if Manish Sisodia was going to fly away. And these are, Baka, we all know that the legal Dow page, once you pass somebody, it can take years and years. Has there been has Arvind Kejriwal been named in the charge sheet? Without being named in the charge sheet, you cannot. I mean, how do you arrest a sitting
One second. Let's be very clear about this. Even when Mr. Sisodia was arrested, he was not named as an accused in the charge sheet. Exactly. It got subsequently added in a supplementary charge sheet. So you can arrest people even if they are not named as an accused. But be that as it may, that's a limited point. Shama Mohammed, Dr. Shama Mohammed, the point is, the India alliance, if you feel so strongly, and you've been saying from the rooftops day after day, Rahul Gandhi keeps saying democracy under threat, democracy frozen, democracy this. I mean, nothing seems to be happening. Yes, Mr. Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, has been arrested. He has been produced duly in court. The court has remanded him to ED custody. There were a few protests by Aam Aadmi Party supporters and workers outside ITO today. And that was that. Other than tweeting condemnation, none of the India Alliance leaders have actually shown up if they so emotionally felt so strongly about this.
Okay, first and foremost, Zaka, there is an undeclared emergency in this country. And most of all, today, the India Alliance went to the Election Commission, maybe you don't know about it, and spoke about what is happening at this time when the Model Code of Conduct is there. According to me, they want to divert from what is called the biggest scam in the Indian history after independence, that is the electoral bond scam. So they always, if you look at how the BJP functions, is diverting from the main issue. Now, I heard...
So you're saying Mr. Kejriwal's arrest is a diversionary tactic. It's less important than electoral bonds.
See, it's a diversionary tactic. And of course, they're acting against, they want to break the back of the India Alliance. Now, let's look at it from one angle. There is this person, they have arrested, before I go to that, she has mentioned how Kejriwal is whatever. I believe that whoever is corrupt, whether they are in opposition or in the government, should be arrested. Now, let us look at the case of Ajit Pawar. We never said...
No, one second. One second. Is the Congress party stand that if Mr. Kejriwal is corrupt, he should be arrested? Is that your stand tonight?
My stand or our stand is whoever is corrupt should be arrested. It is not whether it's in the opposition or... That's why I'm taking Ajit Pawar's case. Let me just finish, Zaka. I did not interrupt anybody. Just give me 2 minutes.
Sure. Okay.
So Ajit Pawar's case, it was Devendra Fadnavis who said in 2014, we will send Ajit Pawar behind bars. It is never the Congress party. Kirit Somaiya brought the case in. Last year, last year, when the Ajit Pawar faction came with the Prime Minister, just 1 week before, the Prime Minister said, 70,000 crore irrigation scam, we will arrest Ajit Pawar. Now, our question today is, what happened to that case? Why is it not going ahead? Same thing with the Chief Minister of Assam. Louise Burgess scam, it is not us. It is them who said a CBI probe is on, he's corrupt. Suvindu Adhikari, it is them who said that he's involved in the Sharda scam. So what we are seeing is a pattern where ED is weaponized and you go after the opposition. Also, in this particular case of Arvind Kejriwal, in 2022, a man called Sarath Chandra Reddy was arrested. All right. As soon as he was arrested, he gave 5 crore to electoral bonds to the Bharatiya Janata Party. In 2023, when the charge sheet, when he turned approver, 35 crores were given, and the sorry, they went to the court and said, ED, they said that there is no case against him. So it is very clear how the ED is functioning. This is the problem.
So the ED has been weaponized. Before I go to Deshratan Nigam, Sanju Verma, please respond. This case that she's referring to, Sharat Chandra Reddy, is from Aurobindo Pharma. And now that the electoral bonds data has been released by the SBI and by the Election Commission of India, it shows that 5 days after there was a raid on Aurobindo Pharma and Sharat Chandra Reddy, they donated 5 crores to the BJP, and eventually Mr. Reddy and this company got let off in this same Liquorgate scam. That's the allegation from the Congress party. Please respond.
Zaka, I need to address your audience. I'm not going to respond to baseless and reckless allegations by the Congress party. I will tell you something very interesting about the electoral bond issue, because people have been saying, "Arey, this is the biggest scam in post-independent India." Yes, I am not disputing the fact that the BJP took more than 8,200 crores via electoral bonds. But let your audience not forget that the Congress has taken and encashed more than 1,974 crores via electoral bonds. Let the Congress not forget that TMC, Mamata Banerjee's party, has encashed bonds of more than 1,708 crores. Let the Congress not forget that their biggest ally, the DMK, got 657 crores via electoral bonds, out of which 509 crores, 77%, they received from Future Gaming. And Future Gaming has its biggest network in Coimbatore, which is not ruled by the BJP, and in West Bengal, which is not ruled by the BJP. And if you look at SBI's latest data, what does it say? It says that the biggest donor to electoral bonds is a company called Megha Engineering. And the largest amount of unaccounted cash transfer from Megha Engineering via electoral bonds was to the Congress party. So
but ma'am, what about the specific charge that there are companies? Once again, there are companies against whom there were grave charges, who were raided by these agencies. Within a few days, they make contributions through electoral bonds to the BJP, and then those companies are let off. That's a very specific and grave charge. You need to address that tonight.
I am addressing the specific charge, and the specific charge is this, Zaka. Let your audience know which is the biggest donor, Megha Engineering. Do you know that in 2023 July, Megha Engineering wanted to set up a $1 billion joint venture with Chinese EV maker BYD? If the Modi government was looking at self-gratification because Megha Engineering could have given us money or did not give us money but was likely to give us money, we would have approved the joint venture. Why did we not approve the joint venture? Then the other allegation, people say Santiago Martin is the owner of Future Gaming. His son, Charles Jose or Jose, however you pronounce it, he joined the BJP in 2015 because there are pictures of him circulating with Ram Madhav. Mujhe batao, if Santiago Martin's son joined the BJP, why is it that BJP is not the biggest beneficiary of electoral bonds from Santiago Martin's company, Future Gaming?
Okay.
Why is it that Santiago Martin gave money to DMK?
Let's come back to the Kejriwal issue, please. Let's come back to the Kejriwal issue. Deshratan Nigam, the irony of Mr. Kejriwal's arrest, and of course, like I keep saying, ultimately, the evidentiary value will be perused by the court, and the court has to come to a conclusion that there is evidence to show that Mr. Kejriwal was in the know of A, the change of liquor policy, B, how it benefited private contractors, and C, how that money, which the private contractors then allegedly routed back as kickbacks to the Aam Aadmi Party, all of this was an active conspiracy in which Mr. Kejriwal was a part. But the irony here, Deshratan Nigam, is that the amendment that was made to the PMLA, which everybody is, crying hoarse about, the first amendment that happened was in 2013, which is under Section 3, the mere possession of proceeds of a crime could be an offence. That prima facie possessing proceeds of a crime gives precedence over criminal intent. Now, what this means is if person A deposits tainted money in the account of person B, then person B will also be punished whether or not that person B was party to the conspiracy to the proceeds of this crime. Now, this was a change that was brought forth in 2013 when the UPA was in power, and this was one of the demands of the India Against Corruption movement. At the height of the IAC, this amendment was brought forth and passed in Parliament. Today, this amendment is one of the reasons why Mr. Kejriwal is behind bars, because the ED's contention is he was one of the beneficiaries. His party was one of the beneficiaries of proceeds of crime, whether or not he willingly or intently took part in the conspiracy.
Yes, Zaka, there are other ironies as well. Most of the cases against opposition parties are on the complaints of each other. The Congress took the credit of filing the first complaint. What could be more ironical? Now they are, giving up that complaint almost by aligning with the Aam Aadmi Party. And let me tell you, the trial will see. Everything will be seen in the trial, as you rightly pointed out. And that why have they come together? That's the issue. Only to defeat Mr. Modi. There are no ideological, semblances between them. There is nothing common between them. The only ground for coming together is the one basis, which is corruption, and the other is to defeat Mr. Modi, nothing else. And therefore, the voters of this country are quite discernible, and they will see as to whom to vote and whom not to vote.
But Deshratna Nigamji, aren't the voters also discernible to see that once the model code has kicked in, the election process has kicked in, first phase of voting is less than a month, they go and arrest a sitting chief minister. I believe this is the first time a sitting chief minister has been arrested. Aren't the voters also discerning, also not discerning that?
Let me tell you, Zaka, today the entire administrative machinery is under Election Commission of India. Model Code of Conduct does not bar criminal prosecution or arrest. Please understand that. And the war on corruption should be clearly there. Prime Minister said zero tolerance for corruption. And another important factor which is coming up, whether he can run his government from the jail.
Yeah.
Not many people have been able to answer that. The rule of 2018 of the Delhi jail rules,
manual, yeah.
Rule 585 clearly says there are only 2 meetings are allowed to a person who is an under trial, and he can meet his family members, relatives, friends, and their lawyers. Nobody else. Please understand that. So the jail manual actually prohibits any governance of or running of business, whether it is a private company, corporate house, or the government, from the jail. This law is very clear. It was passed by, and this was upheld by Delhi High Court, and subsequently upheld by the Supreme Court, Justice Bela M. Trivedi and Justice Pankaj Mittal's bench also.
Okay.
Please understand that.
So, Abhinandita Mathur, this whole bravado, grandstanding that, Mr. Kejriwal will continue to be chief minister. 2 points. One, there is no such provision in the law. As Deshratna Nigam said very clearly, 1349 of the jail manual very clearly says you cannot be bringing in files, you cannot be bringing in government officials into the jail, you cannot be conducting meetings in jail. So clearly it's infructuous. There is no provision where proceedings or the administration of a state, even of a half state like Delhi, can happen within the 4 walls of a jail. So that in itself is a flawed argument that's being put forth by the Aam Aadmi Party. And number 2, this would also entail, what stops the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi from turning around and saying, after all, the Chief Minister is the head of the Council of Ministers, the administration works under his prerogative. If there is no Chief Minister, what stops the LG from saying that this is a constitutional breakdown, and therefore under 239 and 239AA of the Union Territory of Delhi Act, please go ahead and impose President's rule?
We will not be surprised if the Lieutenant Governor actually goes ahead and does something like this. That is what they've been wanting to do, because there is no way that the BJP is able to actually defeat the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal in the assembly elections. He is a sort of a thorn for him, because for Modi ji and the BJP, because they've not been able to electoral defeat, and which is what now the Lieutenant Governor, what does he do? He goes for some photo ops and he just stalls work of Arvind Kejriwal government.
No, but if there's no chief minister, he is well within his right to say that this is a constitutional breakdown.
Well, I mean, yes, there will be, I'm sure there will be provisions where he can take these actions. But what I'm saying is that there is no moral responsibility or Raj Dharma of anybody associated with the BJP or of the BJP. So these are two different things. I'm not questioning, Advocate Nigam's opinion, the legal opinion. But all I'm saying is that we will not be surprised. And I come back to the point that all these things happening in a political scenario. There's one more point to make, which is that Sanjuji must tell us that what is the association of the BJP with this Aurobindo Pharma. Very interesting. They get arrested. The owner, Mr. Reddy, gets arrested. Then he donates 5 crore rupees to the BJP through electoral bonds. Then he turns approver from being a co-accused, and he donates 25 crore. Just want Sanju ji to speak, very sharply about this, and keep your focus here. Don't ye waisa karta hai, wo waisa karta hai.
No. I asked her that question. I have asked for a sharp response. I'll try again. So Sanju Verma, please respond on the point about Aurobindo Pharma, because after all, he's also an accused. He was also an accused in this very same case.
Absolutely.
Zaka, let me make
let Sanju Verma respond. Yeah.
Zaka, I will respond to both the allegations, though I don't think, Ulta Chor Kotwal ko dante, the Aam Aadmi Party has any political high ground or moral question. BJP question, I'm the last person to run away from pointed rebuttals. First and foremost, very clearly, she said, and this is what Atishi also said yesterday, immediately after Kejriwal's arrest, इसलिए केजरीवाल को जेल में डाल दिया because मोदी जी केजरीवाल से घबरा गए हैं, डर गए हैं, और मोदी जी तो केजरीवाल को देखकर थर-थर कांपते हैं. So let me tell you, Zaka, BJP, Lok Sabha 2019, we had a vote share of 57% and we won all the 7 seats. Lok Sabha 2014, we had a vote share of 47%. Even then we won all the 7 seats. And in Lok Sabha 2019, Aam Aadmi Party won 0 seats and vote share kitna tha inka? 18%. Even lower than the Congress, which got 23% vote share from Delhi in LS 2019. Now let me come to this. Yes, now please keep
let her respond. Once again, Abhinandita ji, please. Let Sanju Verma respond, please. Yeah.
Let me please make it very clear that, there are umpteen number of companies who have given money via electoral bonds to the Congress, the DMK, the YSRCP, the BJP. I said that at the start. But have investigation proceedings against Magunta Reddy been disbanded? No. He has turned an approver. And under section 306 of the CRPC, if you turn an approver, that does not mean that you will be declared innocent और आपके खिलाफ जो investigation है उसको derail और disband किया जाता है. You claim you are a lawyer, don't you know this basic? तो investigation तो जारी है. He has turned an approver. आपको क्या दिक्कत है? Are you scared that more skeletons will tumble out of your Delhi liquor scam cupboard?
Okay.
Because now that Magunta Reddy has turned an approver.
Okay.
आपके पेट से इतना उबाल क्यों हो रहा है?
Anyway, let me go to Dr. Shama Mohammed. Dr. Shama Mohammed, it is the Congress party, not the BJP, that first brought forth the liquor scam or the liquor gate allegations. Today, the Congress party is caught between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, you have to defend your ally, you have to come out and express tweets and solidarity. Yet at the same time, you're also saying, and I asked you, you said whoever is corrupt, the law should take its course. The law is taking its course. That is what has happened today.
No. So that is what I'm saying. Why is the law not taking course on what happened with Ajit Pawar?
But that doesn't mean the law won't take course with Arvind Kejriwal.
Law has to take its course.
Law. That does not mean that the law will not take course with Arvind Kejriwal.
That's what I pointed out, the discrepancies in this.
Fair enough. But should it apply to Arvind Kejriwal or not?
What I'm saying is, I showed you the discrepancies in this case.
I got that.
Giving you examples. Let me finish. She has not spoken a single word on Ajit Pawar, Sudhindu Adhikari, Himanta Biswasa Sarma. Now, she pointed out that we have got electoral bonds, okay, just like they've got. There is a difference. When we got the electoral bonds, there is the Supreme Court clearly said in its judgment, there should be a level playing field. Of course, all of us took electoral bonds because that was a law which came from this government, the Finance Bill 2070. Let's understand that. Number 2, there was never a quid pro quo because we can't have a quid pro quo as well as we don't have the ED.
No. Once again, you're in power. You're in power in at least 3 states in this country. What do you mean there is no quid pro quo? I'm not saying there was. Once again, I'm not saying that I'm not saying there was. Once again, ma'am, there are 3 state governments where the Congress party is in rule. If there is quid pro quo, as you allege, with the BJP, central government and 14, 15 other states that they're in power in, then the same allegation can be made against you as well. To say, oh, there's no quid pro quo with us because we're not in power in the center, that's a very lame argument. But please go ahead. Yes.
I'm sorry, Zaka, you're being very partisan.
No, I'm not being partisan, ma'am.
I'm going to give you evidence. I'm going to give you evidence.
Okay, go ahead, give evidence. Yes, I'm waiting for your evidence.
Mega engineering.
Yes.
140 crore.
Yes.
Just 1 month later, they were awarded 14,400 crore Thane Borivali Twin Tunnel Project.
Okay.
Jindal Steel, 7th October 2022. They get 25 crore. They got Gair Palma Coal Mine on 10th October 2022. Now the other one is where they threatened. IT department raided Shirdi Sai Electricals in December 2023 and in January 2024 they donated rupees 40 crore through electoral bonds, all to BJP. Future Gaming and Hotels has donated rupees 1,000 crore to Bharatiya Janata Party, making it the largest. So what you can see, ED rates Future Gaming 5 days late on 7th April. 5 days later, they gave 100 crore. So there is quid pro quo, there is threat. You have to show evidence where the Congress Party has done something like this. You can't simply say, I'm giving you
Sanju
evidence.
Verma, she's given you three or four specific examples of companies who donated, and then within a few days they either get a contract or the raids are taken off. Basically, the Congress Party is alleging this is evidence of quid pro quo.
Zaka, now you please, listen to this very carefully. Rather, your audience needs to listen to this very carefully, because even I come with a lot of data. I'm saying electoral bonds, you get money via check. I don't want to sound foul of the Supreme Court.
We don't know.
No, Shama Mohammed, one second. No, Shama Mohammed, no, not the way. Sanju Verma will finish your point, yes.
Yeah. Zaka, in electoral bonds, you don't get money through the Hawala or cash route. There is a digital trail, electronic trail, and there is a paper trail. But we are not here to dispute the Supreme Court verdict. I will give you some very interesting data on Mega Engineering. Mega Engineering has 3 companies. Western UP Power Transmission Company Limited, which donated 220 crores to the Congress and the DMK. SEPC Power, which donated 40 crores only to the Congress Party. It did not donate a single penny to the BJP. And then Mega Engineering's 100% subsidiary called Avis Trans Private Limited. It purchased electoral bonds worth 6 crore, and that money was given to the Congress and the DMK again.
No, but ma'am, what about the allegation that Mega Engineering gave you 140 crore and within few days of that you awarded them a 14,000 crore contract?
Okay, so So I want to ask you one thing, Zaka. By that same logic, now let your audience listen to this. Renigunta Naidupetta Road project and 960 megawatt Polavaram hydropower project, and there is another power project in Telangana which has been approved recently, one in Zahirabad, one in Adilabad, and this is after the 220 crore worth of money that was given via SEPC and the other 2 subsidiaries of Mega Engineering. So are you telling me that you are now not going to, you are going to reject the approvals given to the power plants of Mega Engineering?
I'm afraid I'm out of time. I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, I want to bring it back to the focus on Mr. Kejriwal. He is going to be spending the next 6 days in Enforcement Directorate custody. He is going to be spending the festival of Holi in Enforcement Directorate custody. Ultimately, the facts of this case, the nuts and bolts of this case have to be proven in a court of law. And from whatever we've seen vis-a-vis timelines, whether it is Manish Sisodia or Satyendra Jain or Sanjay Singh, I don't think that's going to happen in a hurry. But what could likely happen in a hurry, and this is where it gets interesting, is in the next month or so, in the next couple of months, there is elections, national elections. Of course, people of Delhi will have a say as well. Whether or not this becomes an election determinant issue for the people of Delhi, that is entirely dependent on how the India Alliance and the Aam Aadmi Party, how and what they make of this issue, and whether they are able to drum up enough support in what they keep saying every day about murder of democracy, etc. But will that necessarily translate into an election defining issue?